Welcome. This is a summary of our second meeting for the ESP Mentors. And let me begin by emphasizing differentiating between coach-centered coaching and mentee-centered mentoring. Now, coaching and mentoring, sometimes those two terms are used interchangeably, synonymously, but oftentimes coaching has more of an emphasis of an academic coach or an administrator that's coming in looking for particular things in the teacher and helping the teacher to do those particular things that they want to see happen with the teacher. But in contrast, as mentors, we are not coming in with our own agenda, but instead we are helping our new teacher to identify one or two critical path issues, and then to help them to learn to gradually grow and improve in that area. So you see the difference? We are here to serve the new teacher. Now, I'm not saying we're just passive, but we are actively helping them to identify some issues and to ensure that those are critical path issues, and then helping them to experience and to learn how to grow and improve in those particular areas. Okay, so how do you identify what those particular areas are that you should be looking at? Remember last time we looked at these different areas of support, so now I'm thinking about our initial meeting notes, and here it is on page 3, the how of mentoring and areas of support. So if you were just to go to your teacher and say, hey, what do you want to work on? Well, first of all, let me acknowledge and ensure that we understand how easy it is for us to sit around with another teacher and talk with them about all kinds of stuff. All that's great. But as a mentor, you do want to be directive. You do want to have an agenda in many ways that you want to assist them to identify one particular area. And if you were just to ask them, okay, what do you want to work on? Oftentimes a new teacher doesn't really know what they want to work on, or they might just choose something that's rather superficial. So this can be helpful. This categories of 4 different areas of support. And remember, I mentioned that you might want to read through these on your own, or even read through them with your new teacher, just to make sure that you cover the waterfront of the different kinds of aches and pains and pinches and burrs in the saddle that the new teacher might have. Okay? So those are the 4 different areas of support. And here are some questions that might assist you also to focus on finding 2 or 3, or 1 or 2 critical path issues. What are some of your most pressing concerns at this time? What things are making your job difficult right now? What topic or issue do you wish that you understood better right now? I know as a new teacher, there were so many things, so many topics and issues that I had no clue about. They were like this big dark cloud hanging over me. So maybe kind of list out some of the different issues that they are concerned about, and then prioritize them. What skill or task do you wish that you knew how to do right now? If you had 3 extra hours in a day, how would you use them? Boy, I can think of all kinds of things. What do you wish that you had to support you? And then what can I do or provide for you that would make your life easier? Okay, so just some questions. Not saying that you just sit down there and ask them all those questions, but just to help you stir your own thinking, to equip you to draw out. In Proverbs it says that the plans of a man is deep within his heart, but a wise man draws them out like water. So I'm trying to equip you to draw out the new teacher's thinking and to identify 1 or 2 critical path issues. Let me also remind you about differentiated mentoring, is what I'm calling it. Instructive, collaborative, facilitative. They talk about stance. Mentoring stance is another term that is used for these three concepts here. So in other words, as you are interacting with your new teacher, are you being simply instructive? You're just telling them what to do. Okay, now that we figured out what the problem is, let me tell you what to do. And not that that's wrong, right? It's good to be instructive. But we also want to make sure that we're shifting over to be collaborative, meaning that we're working with the new teacher and co-laboring with them or guiding them and equally working on the solution. But our goal really is to be facilitative, right? The I do is the teacher telling the student what to do. The we do is the teacher and the student doing it together. And you do as a teacher, that's our goal, as the student is able to do it on their own. Same concept here with you with your new teacher. You want to be facilitative. You want to draw them into where they are the ones that are identifying an issue that needs to be worked on. They're learning how to grow in that particular area, learning how to get the resources, how to go sit in on another teacher's classroom or watch videos on YouTube or figure out some way to learn and then to try it out, which is a good segue to the mentoring cycle. Let me remind you of, as a teacher, we plan and then we teach and then we analyze our student data, and from that analysis then we think about, we reflect on, okay, where are we going with the next class? And so we plan for that next class. So not only are you now helping your new teacher to go through this cycle of planning, teaching, analyzing, and reflecting, but you also, just on an issue. So for example, how good is my teacher at identifying a issue in their life and then planning to change in that and then trying to implement it and analyzing how well they did at implementing this new teaching strategy and then reflecting on, okay, now what do I do from here? Okay, so this cycle is very helpful for us to think through in a number of different levels. And let me also remind you that these stages there are represented in your mentoring cycle. And remember, I put in here on our copy monthly, just to remind you that it's only monthly, reflection log. And even in the form, it just has what particular month are you talking about. So these 4 stages are listed here in your monthly reflection log. And so it's asking not that you have just that one issue and then run it through, but just in the area of planning. In what ways did you interact with your new teacher? In the area of teaching, what ways have you interacted with them? So just bullet points, right? Nothing, I mean, it's a small amount of space. Just throw down a few bullet points of ways that you interacted with your new teacher in these different stages. And again, that can be their own teaching cycle. It can even be on a particular issue or teaching strategy of how you're walking them through that. Okay, so it's very broad, very wide open. And I was thinking about going through a case study of a mentoring cycle. For example, let's say that your new teacher comes to you and has the presenting problem of saying, you know what, one thing that really bugs me is during class the kids are not paying attention. Can you imagine that? The new teacher has students that don't pay attention to them? Of course, mine don't pay attention to me. And they're talking with each other and they're on their cell phones. Okay, so how do you help them through that? Let me put you back or point you back to the first meeting notes on page 5, mapping it out. What is the presenting problem? Okay, so that's our presenting problem. That's what they're coming to us concerned about. What are the possible causes and contributors to this problem? And as we know, it might not just be the students. It might be that the teacher, does not have good firm rules about cell phones, and the real core is maybe they don't have a good lesson plan and they're not keeping the kids busy. Right? What is the desired student behavior? Now, are you saying that you don't want them to talk at all? Okay, so let's get some good rules about, and to train your students on when and where is appropriate and how to talk and so forth. Okay, so these questions, you might want to go back through these, and once you do identify an area to talk about, maybe these questions will help you to unpack it and lay it out and evaluate what things really do need to change here. Okay, so now is the time that you watch the second video, and that'll explain to you how to get up onto, or to register for this course, the ESP Mentors course, and then to get onto the eCampus website to upload your monthly reflection log. So August, don't worry about August. Don't just leave that blank, don't upload anything for that. September, if you did meet with your mentee in September, then you can upload, fill out this form for September and upload it into the September part, and I'll show you in the video. And October, you definitely need to do something for October. But if you did not meet with your mentee in September, that's okay. Don't bother putting just I didn't meet or whatever, just leave it blank. All right, so, but there does need to be something there for October. And that needs to be in by October 10th. And remember, this is how you are earning your professional development points. And our next meeting will be on Tuesday, October 10th. So remember the calendar that we have on Google Classroom. So just 2 weeks from now, we're going to meet on October 10th on Tuesday in my classroom. Thanks, and I hope this is useful to you. I look forward to talking with you. Please do call me, email me, text me if you have any questions, ways that I can serve you.